All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Richard Antoyos, once again for that beautiful introduction. Our members will be joining as time goes on, and we are proceeding. Next on our agenda, we have a guiding principle for Rotary, which is the four test of the things we think, say, or do. I'm going to invite Rotarian Kunle Oluwasimiri to please help us to take the four test of the things we think, say, or do. Rotarian Kunle, please. I yield the mic to you. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, my president, the club president, Rotarian, Rotaractors, guests, and friends. My name is Rotarian Kunle Oluwaseun, being called upon by the president to take the power test of the things we think, say, or do. The first one is it the truth? Second one, is it fair to all concerned? The third, will it build goodwill and better friendship? And the fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Kunle. So one thing is today is celebration in Nigeria. So most likely the background noise and the distractions here and there celebrations. That's why you can see some of this background noise coming up. So thank you so much, Richard Kunle. On the agenda, we have on the fifth agenda, we have adoption of the minutes of our last fellowship. We send this on our messaging platform on WhatsApp. We believe majority of us must have read it. And before I go to that, I will say thank you, my co-president, my fellow president, Richard Festus Elesom, thanks for coming around today. You are most appreciated. So that will be moving on the adoption of the minute. Please, Rotarians, if you have read the minutes, please can you move a motion? And if there's no correction, can you move a motion for adoption so that the document can become a legal document for the club? Thank you. Fellow Rotarians, I yield the mic. Yes, Rotarian Opamipo. Rotarian Tijani, please, I think you are here during, please, can you move the motion for adoption of the meeting?
Yeah, invited guest, the president, past president in our midst. My name is Rotarian Opamipo Genyibo, and I hereby move the motion for adoption of the minutes of the last meeting. Is appropriate, is complete. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Opamipo. A seconder, please.
Rotarian President, hello Rotarians, guests, and friends. I still remain Rotarian Gani Tijani. I hereby second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That becomes a legal document for the club, and now we can move forward. So I was actually expecting Rotarian Blair to be here today to join me during my president's time to give us a 2 minutes inspirational talk. I think by the time he comes on, I can still call him to give us something, just an inspirational talk, because this year, President Blair will be clocking 82 years old, and so he has a lot of words of inspiration to give to us. But as soon as it comes online, we look at the time so that he can be able to give us a kind of inspirational talk. Once again, being on the president's time, I want to say thank you so much, fellow Rotarian guests and friends. Today's Nigerian independence, and it's been so wonderful. And I'm wishing everyone, all Nigerians, all the best. A good year. You're starting a new year as an independence, and I'm wishing you all the best in your business, in your profession, wherever you find yourself. And let's take advantage of this this anniversary to engage ourselves, to be part of Nigeria's economy, to grow the economy, and to make sure we make Nigeria much, much better for Nigeria, to attract foreign investors to Nigeria, because in the year 2050, we are expecting that Nigeria will become the third largest nation in the world. So you know what that means. So as Nigerians, let us charge ourselves. Let us be part of the win. Let us be part of the development, so that at least we can be a change, a change that we expect I mean, we're expecting the world. We can be the change to expecting the world. I also thank you once again. We have our awesome speakers. We have Rotarian Bess, Jordan, and my fellow Hope presidents, that's you who they are here. I want to say thank you so much for coming, and we've been listening to you. And you know, we have a lot of things to share from you and to learn, at the same time to ask you more questions. Thank you so much. I'll be using the mic now for the business of the day, which is we start by discussion. I'll be using the mic to my sister, Rotarian Temi Olukunle, to please help us to be the moderator for this section, so that as we start. So we're going straight to item number 7I. Rotarian Olukunle, I yield the mic, please.
Thank you, my president, the president, board of directors, fellow Rotarians, our special guests and speakers, Rotarian guests in our midst. My name is Rotarian Temi Olukunle, Rotarian Temi for short, and I would be moderating this session. We all know what today's fellowship is about, and we all know what today signifies for us as a nation. You know, today is the 63rd independence anniversary of Nigeria, and it's an educative fellowship that we're having today. And we're having a conversation about leveraging AI and education to grow the African economy. And we have seasoned experts and discussants who are CEOs in their various organizations. And we're going to be speaking to us about the various topics that we'll be looking at today. And very quickly, to lead us first, you know, in the first presentation, I'm going to be calling on Rotarian Olaifa to take the citation of our first lead discussant as we go in the fellowship. Rotarian Olaifa, are you able to speak, sir? Are you anywhere here?
Yes, my coordinator, thank you so much, Rotarian Temi. Yes, I'm here. And I have with me tonight the president, our guest speakers. You are highly recognized all the way from every part of the world you are joining us for tonight. The board of directors, fellow Rotarians, guests and friends of Rotary International family. I remain my humble self, Rotarian Olaifa Solomon. I've been called upon to take the profile of BP Benz Rengifo. Please mind me with my pronunciation. Sometimes I may not pronounce the name very well, but please just bear with me. I will try as much as possible to call it right. So tonight I'll be taking the profile of BP Benz Rengifo, the PHF. Benz Rengifo is a 25 plus year human research and talent acquisition leader that enjoys department and function within companies. He has worked as CASA performance during the rollout of the Health Connect project, when over $1 billion per year was invested over a 5-year period. During this period, he recruited top IT engineers that built systems of massive scale. Later, he was recruited by Loma Linda University Health System to build out a new human research department that provided trusted advisors, HRP, BP, strokes people service department, build a service delivery of talent acquisition, the executive, IT, inpatient and outpatient, and ambulatory, clinical and non-clinical, and provider physician level that encompass 2,000 employees to over 15,000 across the health system. BP Benz Rengifo has worked in tech, agriculture, school district, federal government, entertainment, home and commercial security, healthcare industry, and Web3. For Bess, it's all about the people who make the fabric of what companies call culture. Finding the right people at the right time, and then making sure you have a healthy benefit of employees and employers. One of his proudest career moment was when he was selected for the largest non-military staffing project, where he was part of the original team that staffed 429 airports within the US and US territory. And now over 45,000 people is over a 7-month period for the TSA, which is now part of the Department of Homeland Security. Bess grew up in a family of volunteers. He has been involved in leading Pathfinders youth group, has coached both the youth, baseball and basketball, was board member, umpire, and president of Loma Linda Little League. Bess started a junior umpire program that immediately thrust high school boys and girls into leadership roles. His crew drew the attention of California Little League district leadership and high school youth were for the first time honored to umpire All-Star games. Bess also secretly umpired for the Little League during All-Star tournament. And nothing is sweeter to his ear than he keeps saying, "Good job, Blue," while walking off the field. Bess has been a board member of the San Bernardino or Loma Linda Crossroad Rotary Club. Recently was the president during the 2019 to 2020 Rotary year. During this year, his club served humanity by attaining over $750,000 in global, regional, and community grants that impacted local communities and international regions. He partnered with community service organizations and added over 1,000 turkeys for those in need. Bess led via his community service chair, the CDA Care San Bernardino, two-day no-cost volunteer dental clinic for the city of San Bernardino, where dental professionals perform 10,412 procedures. That's massive, including filing, extraction, and cleaning, providing $1.46 million in care to 1,626 people. Wow. That same year, during the pandemic, he co-founded, mentored, and helped organize an international Rotary World Peace Conference in 2020 for young professionals and provided support for RYLA, Rotary Youth Leadership Award, virtual camp in Ukraine. Bess and his family enjoy talking above each other at the table, camping, sports, reading, messing around with tech, playing Halo and other games. He enjoyed connecting with new people as a perverse extrovert. He is a Gallup strength finder, enthusiastic with his top 5 being: 1, maximizer, hydration, positivity, activator, and woo. Wow, wow, wow. Bess is excited to extend the family legacy via his son, Julian, who has recently joined him in the now family executive search business. While Dad is teaching young Padawan the way of the Jedi Master, Julian is also teaching Nomi that the way of Web3, crypto, Devi, and all things speculative investing. Bess is an avid fan of the Miami Dolphins, Atlanta Braves, and LA Lakers. When he is not rooting for his favorite team, he is involved in giving back to his local community and being involved in international service projects. Short bow. Wow. Bess Reginfo is okay. I think I've gone through that. Okay, let me just take that again. That's a lot to hear. Bess Reginfo is a 25 years human resource and talent acquisition leader that enjoyed helping companies build HR and talent acquisition and function within company. He has self-construct first function for startup, large multi-billion-dollar organization. One of his proudest career moments was when he was selected largest non-military staffing project, where he was the original team that started 429 that staff 429 airports within the US and US territory and hire about 45,000 people within a 7 months for the TSA is now part of the Department of Homeland. Fellow trans guests and friends, permit me to introduce to you our guest speaker tonight, PP Benz Rejinfo. Thank you for being with us tonight, PP Benz. Thank you. That's the provider of BBGen. My president, I hand over back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Olaifa. Thank you for reading that powerful profile of our guest speaker for tonight. Very quickly, just before I hand over to our guest, we have a co-moderator who is also a lead discussant alongside PP Bears. His name is Jordan Cisco. I'm just going to be reading very quickly his own short profile, and then I'll be handing over to our mavens for tonight for the powerful session. Jordan Cisco is a business development maverick and a real estate maven. And one of the things that he does is connecting partners with sound world-class experts and engineers and creating custom IT solutions. And one of the things he does is to post weekly conversations and content about cutting-edge technology and AI. That's artificial intelligence. He's a proud family man with 2 young sons. He's a dedicated business development leader. He takes complex tech problems and turns them into simple solutions. And his journey has been that of deep involvement in transformative project planning or spanning in artificial intelligence and machine learning, data modeling, product strategy, and legacy system revitalization. So ladies and gentlemen, fellow Rotarians, guests and friends, I'd like to present to you Jordan Cisco, but I'll be handing over at this moment right now for PP Best to take over the conversation, and then, they both take it over. Over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Wonderful introductions, and I'll definitely share, those were, hearing those words, believe me, that was not AI. I actually had to write that because people kept asking for my bio, and I just never felt comfortable writing about myself. But we all have accomplishments, but I want to say that all those accomplishments was never alone. It was always with the help of other people, the team, and empowering the team so we collectively could do good for this world. So I just want to say that while it sounds good, believe me, I'm not Superman, okay? But I do want to say congratulations for Nigerians' Independence Day. I'm happy to be here with you today, celebrating your 63rd year of independence. So, I'm excited to be part of the conversation. I'm just briefly going to go over a few things of what Rotary does in this, what their part is in local economies. And I invited Jordan because actually he is very passionate about growing local economies, leveraging technology and AI in Africa. He's actually working for a company that the foundation is going to do wonderful things. And I'll let him explain that. But let me go quickly into some of the things, that Rotary does. And I just want to say that a lot of the causes that Rotary works on, they sort of, go hand in hand, play off each other. So growing local economies actually is a tenet or a pillar of the peace movement within Rotary. Peace is a promoting world, peace around the world is a big deal in Rotary. It's one of the 7 areas of focus. And in order to have, one of the pillars to have sustainable peace is to make sure that your local economy is prosperous, right? And that helps into the peace movement. So, so I'm going to talk a little bit about, what does Rotary do, and a little bit of what I have done in the past in that area. So, as we look around the world, 800 million people live on less than $1.90 a day. And, how does Rotary play into the equation? Well, they're very passionate. And these are some of the things that they do. Solar projects, so they can help communities and homes that are off the grid to work and study and learn at night. Another one is microloans. Microloans helps street vendors, and also weavers, tailors, and other jobs to be sustainable, have a business to provide for their family. Also, small companies, businesses are able to borrow money so they can buy livestock, plant crops, also get training to have a sustainable farm. And sustainable farming is a big deal these days. There's also another benefit thing that Rotary gets involved in, is that human rights, because sometimes people that are in a certain segment or demographic, their human rights are not recognized because of some of the things that they suffer. So what does Rotary do in relation to what do they invest? Well, the Rotary Foundation is very passionate about growing local economies, and they have invested $9.2 million to grow local economies and reduce poverty. And again, that plays into the peace movement, where if you have a prosperous community, it helps in it becoming it's a start to becoming a more peaceful city or town. The other thing that Rotary is, here's some statistics: 795 million people, or 1 in 9 people in the world, do not have enough to eat. Okay, so this is important, growing local economies. 60% of the world's hungry people are women and girls. 70% of the world's poorest people live in rural areas, and they depend on agriculture and related activities to make a living. So just going into, and just keeping an eye on the time, some of the things that I have been able to learn in my journey on Rotary is to partner with other people. And that begins in your backyard, in your town, or your village. Find out who, what are the needs in that village, town, that you can help with. And then as you find those needs and you start to get to know those people, it'll lead you to other people, sometimes at a regional level, that are very passionate about the region that you live in, for it to be economically viable, to attract employers. Something I looked up is that Nigeria boasts the largest economy in Africa. So you have something to be very proud of. They say that some of the statistics I've read is that it's going to be part of the world's top 10 economies by 2050. So that's pretty substantial, that just your country will be in the top 10 by 2050. And you have a lot to be thankful for, or grateful. 63 years of independence is a wonderful thing. So as you partner with regional bodies, governments, or even nonprofits, then you start to go at your province, state level, and then even at your country level. As you keep doing good work and doing and providing partnerships, more people are going to get to know you, and they're going to open doors to partner. And when you read that I had in my year done 750,000 in community, local, and regional grants, it was not because I had a master plan to do that. In fact, if I were to tell you my master plan, my goal was to do 10,000, that was actually because I knew I had 10,000 in DDF coming in. So I wasn't trying to be that bold. But you know what happened during the pandemic is that the things just started to be different. And all I can say is, there are opportunities in life where the doors open up, and you just have to be ready to receive the goodness and the partnerships out there, and to enable the people around you. Remember, we can't do this together, but to enable those around you to help you and you help them. And wonderful things can happen. So at the end of the year, when these international service grants were being awarded, some took 2 days, and it was happening very quickly. So, you know, and it was because of the people around me, the teams that brought opportunities. And I said, sure, you know, I didn't say that's all I did, but I encouraged you know, our team, we just encouraged to go out and do good. And so that's what happened. So thank you. I'm going to introduce Jordan here because Jordan actually, I want him to talk about what he's doing, what his company is doing with a foundation that has invested, and what are the great things that they're looking to do. So Jordan, I yield the mic to you, my friend.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bez. Thank you, President, past president, guests, Bez. That really means a lot to be here and to speak with everybody here. I get very passionate about Africa and what's going on. I'll give a quick background on me, aside from what you heard. I've been with ALX and Sand Technologies for about 3 months now. I've been in the technology business development space for about 3 years. At my previous company, there wasn't really much of a mission. It was just me doing my job and getting paid for it. And right when I was introduced to Fred Swaniker, who's the CEO of ALX and CEO of Sand Technologies, I really quickly understood that there was more of a mission behind what we're doing at Sand, what ALX is doing, and that's empowering the entire continent of Africa. And yeah, as my LinkedIn profile says, I have 2 kids of my own. One's 2 and the other one is 1. So I have 2 very young kids. So to hear the empowerment of the people of Africa and the continent as a whole, it really moved me, and it really goes to test what I'm trying to do in my own household with my kids, except this brings it on a whole nother scale. So let's talk about AI in education from a technology perspective and how it can help Africa as an entire continent. In the technology space, well, let me back up a little bit further. You know, it was probably about 250 years ago we started doing, you know, mechanical stuff. So stuff with gears, you know, maybe leveraging water and steam power to make stuff happen, to develop out new things, create manufacture plants, stuff like that. And then 150 years or so ago, we had the electrification, right? So that was your energy, your assembly lines, all that good stuff. We'll go to 60 years ago. We'll go to like computer automation at that point, right? So that's more on the electronics and just IT. Then we're going to go to 10 years ago, where we're talking Internet of Things, cloud computing. We're getting a little bit more detailed. And then we're going to talk about present. And this is the most important part right here, and that's AI. That's right now. That's what you're going to see on my LinkedIn. That's what you're going to see on a bunch of other people's LinkedIn. It's what you're going to see on the news. That's what you're going to see everywhere, right? It's the big hot topic buzz for right now. And the reason why it's creating such a buzz is because nobody really knows what's going to happen because of it. Nobody knows the results of it in the next 5-10 years. Nobody knows what it's 100% capable of in 6 months' time, a year's time, anything like that. But what I can say as it relates to Africa is that with leveraging AI, you're not really competing against 30-year-old experienced technologists in the space. You know, people with full stack developer degrees that have been in college for 4 to 8 years. All of that goes away. It's literally about understanding AI, going through some basic courses and developing out every single day by trial and error. And it really will create a world stage for what's happening right here. And with everything going on in Africa, with the Starlink, with the availability of Starlink, with the availability of solar, so more rural communities can have access to power and internet and everything like that. It's really going to empower everybody in Africa to be able to compete in this world stage of technology very fast. That's never been done before. It's been traditionally through, you have to go through some 4-year university, and then after that get tons of experience and go from there. That's not essentially the case with AI. So that's why I'm a firm believer in talking with everybody, that there's so much power in AI and education. So that brings me back to ALX. So I'm an advisor at ALX. ALX has 29 physical campuses throughout 9 different countries within Africa, teaching courses from software engineering to Salesforce to AI to virtual assistants. Really just empowering the people to do hard things. That is Fred Swaniker's go-to statement. And I live by that every single day before I even met him. And I absolutely love it. And that's the big thing that I think that's going to separate Africa from the rest of the world. Statistically, I know Bez was talking about a lot of stats. Statistically, the average age of somebody in Europe right now is 49. In America, it's 47. In Africa, it's 19. Okay. That is massive when you're talking about trying to enter into technology and creating that fire, creating that passion, creating that drive. That is what's going to set Africa apart from everybody else. In my sales into American companies, that's one of the biggest differentiators of me selling talent out of Africa in comparison to anywhere else in the world. The easiest analogy my go-to analogy that I use is if you hand somebody a blueprints to build a house, you're going to show up there in 6 months, a year's time, and you're going to go there and you're going to say, oh, this is exactly what's on the blueprints, but there's no front door. And that's the one thing that I always try to set the African talent apart from, is that somebody in my African talent pool is going to say, hey, this is a beautiful house. This is an amazing house. But why is there no front door? How are we not going to get into this place? What are we doing here? It's that entrepreneurial, that thought leadership, that mission critical, forward pushing drive that sets all of the young talent out of Africa completely apart from the tech space in the rest of the world, which just gets me so fired up and so excited for the continent as a whole, seeing what's going to happen in the next year, 5 years, 10 years. And I'm so excited to be part of this transformation. So my kind of call to action behind all of this here would just be, it doesn't matter what your background is, what you potentially are focused in, anything like that. If you have not dived into AI, if you have not opened up ChatGPT, if you have not done anything like that, please, it just if you don't do it for me, do it for your family. Just get in and start playing with it, because it's not going anywhere. It's going to be here to stay, and it's going to make such an impact in everybody's lives, from a business perspective around operational efficiencies, from a revenue perspective around if you're planning on starting your own business, trying to figure out who your target audience is to drive additional revenue. No matter what it is, I'm a sales guy. I can go on for days and days about what AI can do and how it can impact people. But I would highly recommend looking into it, because you're not behind on this. Nobody's behind on this. Everybody is shoulder to shoulder. That's what separates what we're doing at CN Technologies from a lot of these other big players in the markets, like the Accentures and the Globants and the Cognizants. They have all this super senior talent that are used to looking and thinking and saying things in a certain kind of way, because that's what they've been doing for the past 10 and 20 years. But when you're talking about learning and you're talking about education, and you're talking about AI, you want some people that are hungry. You want some people that are going to think outside the box. You want some people that are going to ask questions and say, why is this doing it? Why is that happening here? You want people really diving into it. And I think that is the empowering piece about leveraging the talent coming out of Africa that I don't think anybody else can touch on. I can go on for hours on this, but I'm gonna take a pause there. And if anybody has any questions, I would love to hear any questions. Happy to guide any way. I could pass it to Bez.
Jordan, did you talk about the investment being made and how many positions they're looking to make from what you had told me? Is that something you want to share here?
Yeah, sure. I can happily share that. so we're heavily invested by the MasterCard Foundation. If you look up the MasterCard Foundation, there's not many people that gets funding from MasterCard Foundation. And we're getting well north of millions from the MasterCard Foundation to empower the continent of Africa. Without going into a ton of details, I can give you one soft landing and say that we have a mission by 2030 to create 3 million entrepreneurial and thought leadership jobs coming out of the continent of Africa. So do the math on that. 3 million in the next 7 years. That's a lot of jobs, okay? And it's not going to be done by just me, right? It's going to be done by a whole team. It's going to be done by the continent of Africa. It's going to be done by lots of teams in America, lots of teams in Europe, lots of teams all over the globe to try to adjust the perception of what a lot of people look at Africa as, and that's in the US, you know, for lack of better words, we call it poverty porn. There's so much of that over here, and we need to, that is our goal, especially mine as an American salesman, is to get away from that and to start diving deeper into the thought leadership and the entrepreneurial kind of mindset that you're going to get out of Africa. And that sets everything apart. My kids are going to have to compete with that. And it makes me super excited because I feel like that's one of the things that America's lacking right now severely. And it's so empowering for me to be a part of it coming out of Africa. It just, yeah, it gets me super excited.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Jordan. That was incredible. And thank you for the first session as well, Bez. Such a powerful night, honestly. And I know that a lot of people have a lot of questions, right? You know, while you both were speaking, and I was, of course, I'm familiar with some of the things that you've shared, like ALX. I'm aware of a lot of Nigerians and Africans who have benefited from the trainings, you know, from the software development to virtual assistant. And I remembered while over the course of this year alone, over 7,000 tools have emerged, artificial intelligence tools that have emerged. And I see a lot of Africans jumping on the train, getting to, you know, get conversant with these tools. So it's a beginning of a new journey for us in Africa as a continent and Nigeria specifically. So I think this is very beautiful, very relevant conversation at the right time. Thank you so much for that powerful session, both of you. So I'm going to open this up very quickly to Rotarians who have questions, who have contributions. We have just about 2-3 minutes to do this. So if you have any question, of course, I do have one question, but if any other person has a question, you can either unmute your mic or you can drop that in the chat room and I'll quickly read it out to our guest speakers very quickly. Does any Rotarian want to ask any question? You can also raise your hand. Just use the hand raise button and then we'll get to read the question out. So I'm seeing a comment. Jordan is passionate and super exciting. Awesome. Yes. So while we wait for more comments, questions, or, you know, submissions in the chat room, I have just one question. I'm going to throw it open. Anyone can then take the question, Bez or Jordan. So the question is, of course, we know where Africa is coming from. Artificial intelligence is pretty much new in Africa. In fact, just before the wave of artificial intelligence, we're talking about internet. You know, the rate of internet penetration in Africa, Africans getting access to the right level of internet bandwidth. Some of us are losing international opportunities because we cannot connect to the basic Zoom, ordinary Zoom to have meetings and interviews. You get disconnected. So how then do we begin to bridge the gap between coming from a place where we don't even have enough internet to leveraging on artificial intelligence technology and just really being abreast of this? Now, not just from the finance angle, I want you to also look at this from the educational perspective. What do you think will be the role of Rotarians? How do we come in to bridge the gap or to just join in the vision and what you guys are building?
I think from the Rotary part is that, you know, when I read that $9.2 million is coming from the foundation to grow local economies, I think that's an opportunity to take advantage of. I know usually they don't like to work on infrastructure projects, but if you can find someone to do the infrastructure and then the other part to do the training, then you can make a partnership happen. And then sometimes the infrastructure projects are sponsored by local municipalities or state or regional governments. I don't know how it works there in Africa, but I'm looking at some of the resources that you have, and maybe even some of those industries can move the needle forward with some investment, because I think it benefits in the end. I'll shoot it over to Jordan. What do you think?
Sure, yeah, and that's a great question, and this this gets me even more fired up. So the internet reliability from Starlink, I get it. It is spotty at times, but it's fine. Do not look at that as a crutch by no means. Like the knowledge that you're going to learn by doing is what's going to make you an asset into the market. So you might get bad weather and your internet's going to be down for an hour, whatever it is. That's perfectly fine. Anybody that's working with you will understand that and be able to acknowledge it and move on, because what they're looking for is the knowledge that you're bringing to the table. Meetings can get rescheduled. This is 2023. We've learned this through COVID, everything like that. If there's bad weather in the area and we need to sync later on in the day or the next day or something like that, that is perfectly fine. The amount of drive and the curiosity that I'm seeing from every single individual that I talk with over a Teams call, which I not to digress, I'm super excited. At the end of October, I will be coming out there for 2 weeks. I'm going to Joburg, Kigali, Nairobi, and Ethiopia. So I'll be out there 2 weeks to actually feet on the ground, see everything. But just the passion that I see through the Teams calls, I don't care if it gets blotchy. The passion and the curiosity is what will carry me over all day long. So don't just please do not look at it as a crutch. It's only going to get better, right? Technology is only going to get better as time. So don't look at that as a potential, I can't do that because I don't have really good stable internet for 24 hours out of the day. It's okay. Just whatever you do, please do it for me, do it for your family, do it for everybody around you, do it for the continent of Africa. Push. You guys got this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jordan. And thank you so much, Bez. Do we have more? Do you have any other question? Because of our time, I know that we might not be able to wait for so long. We also don't want to keep you both, but I think my president has a question or a contribution. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, speakers, Bez and Jordan. Actually, AI has been something I'm so passionate about, and something that drives me each time, and I keep telling my friends. But let me just quickly rush down to what the discussion on board. Rotarian Timmy has made mention of something. How do Rotarians can come into this project, right? Another thing, you made mention of countries you are visiting in the next 2 weeks. Great. I don't know if President Nigerian is part of the environment or part of the itemized locations whereby you are working, the projects you're working presently. And one thing, I know this off record, I'm going to take that off record, but here's it, that what we like, we have like to be a part of your project in Nigeria. We'd like to be a part of projects in Nigeria. We have good ends, and I know of Rotarian Temi, and I know of a couple of others on my club as well. We have president, both serving and past president here as well, that they would really love to be a part of a project in Africa. Talking about this AI of the thing, I want to extend that hand to you, and also I want to have your hands of fellowship, so that we can be a part of a moving train, because I was talking with somebody in the past 2 weeks. I was talking about the issue of internet. I was talking about Starlink, Starlink, how we can make it to our local environment for schools, and get Starlink to the local environment to have internet for them so that they can be able to get access to those internet. We are still working on so many things behind the scene. If we can actually actualize it, something that will just make the environment, integrate people. Instead of migrate to the urban communities, we can keep them in the locality and then make good things to come out of that place. Right. So key to your vision and to your project, I'm extending hands of fellowship to you, that we, on behalf of the club, say we want to be a part of a project, things that we require from both sides, professionally, we have people on ground that we can be able to have this, don't be part of a moving train, so that to make the continent, habitable, AI, compliance, let me put it that way. So Nigeria is a case study, right? So that we can become part of that moving train. So that's just a little thing I want to chip in, and I want to have that back of mind. We can keep communicating. Thank you for Rotarian and Bez for linking us up, and we'll keep communicating on that. To make sure that we have this professionals, young guys, people, even outside of tech, because AI is for everybody, just to tap into it so that we can key into that vision and to make sure we're part of a moving train.
Yeah, I'll touch on that. One last powerful thing I'll say is as you're equipped with skills in technology, you're going to realize very quickly, and the continent is evolving into seeing this. You're no longer on a regional scale anymore. There's a lot. I get that there's regionally, there's a lot of improvements that need to happen and everything like that. I don't want to get into all that. That's fine. But once you get equipped with the technology skills, you're now on a global level at that point, right? Like there's nothing stopping somebody from Nigeria from working for a US based company. That's essentially what I'm facilitating in my role, right? There's no difference there. There's no difference from hiring somebody in India, somebody from Africa, somebody from Eastern Europe. There's no difference there. As long as the skills are there, it can happen. So it brings you out of your region and it puts you on this global stage, which is so empowering. And that's essentially what we're trying to do between ALX with the education piece, between SAN Technologies with facilitating the introduction into all the companies and actually driving the sales and the work and everything like that. But once we combine those two, which is happening as we speak, it's so empowering. I'm super excited for it. I can't believe I'm part of this. It just makes me so happy.
Right. So, Rachel, please.
Okay, thank you so much, President. I think that's a very great one, and we're looking forward to future collaborations. Once again, we want to say thank you in the absence of no other questions. We want to say a really big thank you to you, PP Bears, and to you, Jordan, for this amazing conversation that we've had today. I mean, I've had to learn a lot myself. I wrote a book on artificial intelligence, just about a few weeks ago, and this is like a bonus knowledge to that if I'm going to review that, I'm going to change some strategies around the focus of the book. So personally, I've learned a lot, and I also know that every Rotarian on the call has picked something from your sessions and from the fire that you've shared with us. And it's amazing how people who are not from your continent can share so much passion about your continent. That is what we've seen tonight. Thank you for your profound insight and the potential transformative collaboration that we will be having. We're looking forward to that as a club, and we hope that, when we call again, you both will answer us. Thank you once again. Thank you. Awesome. So very quickly, we're also going to be moving on. We still have one more session tonight in tonight's fellowship. I think tonight's fellowship is really power-packed. I love what is going on with the Rotary E-Club, and I know that my fellow Rotarians are not tired. We're not tired of getting empowered. We're not tired of impact conversation. And we have a discourse on community development through women empowerment. And I'm going to be calling on Rotarian Oluwatobi to take the citation of our lead discussant, and then we go right into the session. Over to you, Rotarian Oluwatobi. Rotarian Oluwatobi, are you around, sir?
Okay. Yes, I am around. Good evening, my president, our moderator, all that protocol duly and well observed. My name is Rotarian Oluwatobi. Being called upon to take the citation of Rotarian Idayat Ibrahim. Rotarian Idayat Ibrahim, he studied physics at Adekunle Adedaso University, Akungba Akoko, Ondo State. He works with Airtel Nigeria as the Ondo State Inventory Manager. He was the 25th President of the Rotary Club of Akure CB, 2015-2016, be a gift to the World Rotary Year, and now the 43rd President, Rotary Club of Akure. She is single, and tonight I would want us all to welcome our dear President, Idayat Ibrahim, to our meeting this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Oluwatobi. So now we'll be handing over to our powerful guest as she takes over the session. Rotarian Idayat, over to you, ma'am.
Hi, good evening, guys. My Rotarian president. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, we can
hear you.
Oh, my Rotarian president, Rotarians in the house, guys. Yeah, my name is Rotarian Idayat. Happy New Month and happy Independence Day to all Nigerians. Yeah. So I'll be taking us the topic community development through women empowerment. So firstly, what do we understand by the word? Sorry, please, I'm having issue. So what do you understand by the word community development? Community development is to seek to empower individuals and group of people through skills they need to effect change within the community, within the society. So now we're talking about women empowerment here. I know some people will be like, what is that? Why is she talking about women empowerment? So I think there is really no more focus about empowering women in this part of the world, and we have to do something about it, because empowering women, we have a lot of things to do to improve our economy and society. Women empowerment can be defined as to promoting women's sense of self-worth, the ability to determine their own choices, and the right of influence social change for themselves and others. Why is it compulsory for us to empower women? It's compulsory for us to empower women because of the social economy, the earth, our children, the facilities within us, and what women bring to us. The skills in the workforce can raise happy and healthier children. They can also be able to fuel sustenance economies and benefit society and human at large. Believe that healthy, educated and empowered women are agents of changes in our society. How do we empower our new women? By the social, number one, we talk about social empowerment. This talk about the social differences in women, what they go through in the society. We talk about the educational empowerment. We notice that in historical, over 750 million children, women got married before the age of 18. This makes some of them to stay out of schools. That's why we say most homes, like when you have an uneducated women training children, you still as society, why is this person going to check the family, the parents are this, the mother is this. So it's compulsory that we have to empower our women educationally. Sorry, am I still on?
Yes, you're.
Investing in women economic empowerment sets a direct path towards poverty eradication and inclusive economic growth. Women make enormous contributions to economic, whether in business or farms. Mostly, we all believe that some works they believe, oh, this work is mainly for men, it's not meant for women. Mostly, we've had to go to some rural area of the. Let's talk about the rural area in Nigeria now, because I grew up from a village, so I know what it takes for women. Most times we go to the farm to do some work that they have to work, but they believe, oh, these works are meant for men alone, but women are meant to do that. So it's not men alone that have to do this. We have farm. We have some women that do daily or paid care work at home as their side, like they don't have anything to do, just have to do what? Just be at home, take care of the children, and some don't even get paid. Some have to get paid for the allowances too. Anyway, women perform the role of wife, partner, organization, administrator, director, creator, distributor, economics, mother, and disciplinarian in our society. Contributions of women to economic development. Women in politics. If we had to check the population of women compared to the women in politics, this recently is kind of low. We have high populations of women, but we have to look at the way. Most times when women come and ask, hey, I want to contest, people like, no, what do you have to offer? Most times when women have to bring an idea on the table, they feel that because of this feminine, because of this, they're female, we don't have to take whatever they have to say, even though we know what they are saying is at the right direction of to which it can help us grow the community. So like I said, I won't waste much of our time. So in conclusion, women contribution to sustainable development must be recognized. Women have a strong role in education and socializing their children, including teaching them care and responsibility with regards to the use and protection of natural resources. More should be done to increase women's voice in environmental making, to enable women to seize opportunity in the more capacity building programs and training tailored to the needs of women are needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, our powerful Rotarian, for that very short, straight to the point, and powerful conversation. And I think this is a conversation that is not just for the women. I think it's even more for the men, because a lot of times, what people don't know is education starts with the women, with the mothers. The education of a child starts from home. And so if the women themselves are not empowered, then we already know that the foundation is already shaken. And we all know the common saying that if the foundation be destroyed, the society will suffer for it. So we say thank you for that conversation and for this powerful direction that you took it. I don't know if any Rotarian has any question or any contribution. Very quickly, we can take that 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can move on, in the meeting. Do we have any question? Do we have any question? I'm seeing, okay, that's the clapping. We're trying to let somebody's clapping. Let me quickly go to the chat room. Okay, I do not see any question. Okay. My president, I see your hand. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Temi. And also thank you so much, my co-president, Rotarian Diet. You remind me of something. When growing up, when a child gets spoiled, they say that is for the mother. Why? Because the mother helps to teach the children. And according to what Rotarian Best said earlier today, he says 60% of the world's of the how do you put it? What we talk about to solve the world's population, 60% of it is to take care of the women. I mean, 60% of poverty, non-educated, you talk about the women and the children. And if that 60%, which is the larger number, can be taken care of, it means the world's problem is solved. And if you look at the family, if you look at the world generally, women, they're the ones that takes care of everything. I mean, my home as a case study. I don't have time. I run around. I do business runner here and there. But my kids, before I know what they do, the assignment, they do this and that. And I said, what about this? They said, I've done it. I said, who have they said that? Mommy told me to go and do it. But that is always asking, have you done it? So that is it. I want to say, women need to be empowered. They need to be given the best education, and then for us to have a very better world to live. One of our projects for this year is to ensure that we're empowering women. Last month, we had a project to donate sewing machines to some widows. And because not empowering them, we know what that havoc can cause. So it's better to empower them and support them. And we are, even this month again, we are looking forward to do much more to empower the women. I'll say thank you so much for this wonderful topic, and it reminds every one of us, like what Rotarian has said, it's not only for the women, for the men. For men to have a peace of mind, we have to educate the women. That is where we can have a peace of mind. Thank you so much for taking us telling us this was a reminding us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Rotarian, I yield the mic, please.
Thank you, my president, and thank you once again. We appreciate you, ma, for that powerful session, and we hope that when we call again, you will answer. So on behalf of the, Rotary Club of One, every Rotarian on the call today, every guest that we have, we say thank you so much. Keep championing the cause for women empowerment, and hopefully, of course, there are projects that we can also come together to do. Like I love to say, for every session that we have, there is always a convergence point of collaboration. So thank you once again on behalf of the club. My president, I yield them. All right, ma'am.
All right, thank you so much, Rotarian Temi, once again for anchoring this section. I want to say with Rotary Club of Akure, we look forward to have a collaboration together in the future. So I think we're going to discuss about that. yeah, to have a collaboration together, to have one project in Akure, with you. We'll discuss about that and we'll see what we can do. So thank you so much for coming around. And also we'll be sending we used to award certificates to our speakers. So we'll be sending to Rotary Diet, Rotary Best, and also to our very good friend Jordan. We'll be sending our certificate of of appreciation. We'll be sending that to you your way to say thank you for coming around. And we believe next time when we call you, please be our guest. Like I said earlier on, I think we have Rotary Blair here. Is Rotary Blair here? Hello, sir. Are you there? All right, Rotary Blair, as soon as he will let us know. Rotary Blair, I wanted to invite him to give us an inspirational talk. Rotary Blair is 82 years old and is in Texas. So that when he's ready, he can be able to tell us something. He's a very wonderful man and has been, from time to time, he has always fellowship with us. On our agenda, we have correspondence. Secretary, do we have any correspondence?
The president, League of Serving Presidents present, the fellow volunteers in our midst, our guest speakers, Ruterin Ajagumam is the name. On correspondence, we don't have any official correspondence. Besides regrets, there are some regrets from club members for being unavailable for today's fellowship. And again, please, to everyone on the call, please kindly fill the form on the club. And while filling it, please let us input a viable email address, because for quite some times now, we do send a follow-up mails to the recipients, and many of the mails turned back undelivered. Either the address could not be found or the inbox are full already. Please, let us input a verbal email address. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Secretary. Once again, I want to recognize my very good friend and sister from the current serving president of Rotary New Lagos Ikeja, Rotary and Laraujo. Thank you so much, ma, for coming around. My very good sister as well, serving president Arewa Olayinka, my sister. Thank you so much for being around here. I want to recognize the chartered president of the club, Shoma Bola. Thank you so much for being here. I also have the grandfather, chartered president, that's Rotary Kazim Oderuni. Thank you so much for being here. My very good brother, friend, and also person who one of them that guided me into road track in those days, and we still remain together with him, brothers and friends today. Sunday Ojo from 9110. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I want to say a lot of people who are here, Lieutenant Olumide Lori, thank you so much for being here. I have lots and lots of people. Once again, I know Lieutenant Festus and talked before. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for being here. I have Otumba Lawa Ismail. I also have my sister Mary Doe here. Thank you so much for being here. I can see a lot of people being here tonight. We are so honored for you being around. Our Rotarians, I will say thank you so much for being here, my sister from Better Nigeria.
It's a pleasure to be there too.
Thank you so much.
It's nice fellowship with you.
Thank you. Aishat Folake, my sister, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. My fellow Rotarians, Ife Oluwakunle, which we are planning to get our campaign in December. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Ma. Thank you so much. We have a lot of tons of people to be here. If we keep mentioning it, we'll be doing it tomorrow, but I want to say you are really recognized and I appreciate you more. I don't take it for granted. I love you all and I appreciate you all. Yes, my Richard and Mary Doe. Yeah, thank you so much from Maryland. Rotary Club of Maryland, Lagos. Thank you so much as well for being here tonight. I also thank you so much. Really appreciate you all for being here tonight. most of the things we are doing is because you are here as partners. And I sent some emails to some of us that can get the emails. I said things we'll be doing this month. And please, regardless of your club, the president can collaborate. We can join together, do a very laudable project. But for this month, we are doing a campaign, mental health awareness in Nasarawa State. We're collaborating with the government of Nasarawa State, and at the same time with United States Malaria Institute. You know, we have PMI. We are collaborating with them, and a lot of beautiful organizations, humanitarian organizations. We are collaborating together this month to carry that, and then to help people to donate machines, sewing machines, a lot of things to widows, to women in the community, just to boost the economy, and then to get people empowered of this month. I also thank you everyone for being a part of this movement. That's Rotary International, and we are just a sub. We're just a finger in Rotary International. But I also thank you so much for all you are doing in your various environments. I also thank you. I don't know if any of our presidents currently serving here, if they have something to say, I'll be glad. Please, you have the floor. If you want to invite you, tell us about your meetings, and you want to say something, please, you have the floor, please. Hello, HV President. General Festus, Richard Arewa, Richard Lara, Richard Dat, anything? All right. So if we don't have anything to share with us, that's okay. That's fine.
All right. No, I'm sorry, my president.
I trust you, man. Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are. Good morning. I don't. Well, my president, that's a good speech today from all our guests. I was so impressed. I will not keep quiet, you know, as usual. So don't mind me, everybody. I'm so sorry. Well, and especially with the women thing, I say this is something that is affecting our community. Our mothers are always there to support the family and all that, but at the end of it, they know when something happens, there is nothing, especially if the breadwinner of the family is no more there. There is a lot that's going on with our widows out there right now. And if we as a community, as a Rotarians, whatever the little we can do in our community around us, especially for all these women, it will go a long way. That's the one thing I know about that. So, and I want to say thank you to all the Rotarians for what we've been doing in our communities and the environment. And we should just continue doing more. That's the way I would just say it all. And I'm going to invite you all to our meetings at Rotary Club of New Lagos, Ikeja, District 910. We meet this week. We're going to meet on Friday. It's going to be different. I know we normally meet on Wednesdays, but this week we're meeting on Friday. Our meeting venue is still the same. We still join online. And come November 25th is going to be our installation of our third president of the club. So you're invited to our installation also in Lagos. So invitation is going to be sent to you. I'm still waiting for, I know my president has already done his own congratulatory message, but I'm still waiting for the club own also. So, all right. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, my Hope President. Sorry, I want to recognize my PDR, Tunde Jenyo, PhD. He's a doctor, he's a PDR, he's an engineer. He was a DRR one time we went to, I think that was New Busa, I think here. We went there, and it's been a long time. Thank you so much, sir, for being around today.
That was a mankind, yeah.
Yeah. You know, thank you so much, PDR and Tunde Jenyo, for being around tonight. We appreciate you for honoring our invitation. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. We know we still reach, but I will reach out to you, you know, so that we can at least talk and see what we can sit together. I know the spirit is still there. Thank you so much, sir, for being around. So, once again, I want to Rotary Blair. Are you there? he tried calling me the other time, but I was busy. Okay. Now we have object of Rotary. I want to invite my very good, very good sister and friend, Alimat Giwa, to please Ololade Giwa, to please help us to take the object of Rotary.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Good evening, fellow Rotarians, guests, and friends of Popular, visiting Rotarians, and our guests in our midst. So I have been called upon to take the objects of Rotary. The object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of body enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster one, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and dignifying of each Rotarian occupation as an opportunity to serve society. And thirdly, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. And lastly, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. Thank you. I use the mic.
Oh, thank you so much, Lieutenant Limat. Our time is really fast spent, but please permit me to call my very good brother, a co-president, Rotarian Ilesome Festus, to please give us 2-3 minutes to talk. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's a wonderful opportunity to be here tonight. A very powerful topic and a very powerful program you had tonight. Thank you for enlightening us, and thanks to all the speakers. They really did good job addressing the topic of the day. It's an opportunity for us to fellowship together again, and we always welcome this idea. We are sister clubs, and we meet every Saturday, Rotary Club of Greater Nigeria, and we are proud and we are happy to associate with you, Rotary Club of One Nigeria. Thank you for having me here tonight. And on behalf of my club members who are here also, it's a privilege to share the call with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate you coming around, and we appreciate all your members that are here tonight. We appreciate that. And from the bottom of my heart, I say, I really appreciate it. I say, thank you. I really, on behalf of the call, we love you. Thank you so much. So this time for any other business? Do we have any other things to discuss? First, let me quickly tell Rotarian Toyosi is the chairperson for this month, for the economic and community development. So he might run to you if he needs assistance. Please let us open our hands to welcome him, so that in case he needs our assistance. Okay, thank you so much. So any other business, please. Lieutenant Toyosi, you want to tell something?
Yeah, you've actually said everything. So I actually wanted to plead, in case I needed any assistance, I would just drop it on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
And that was just what I wanted to say. And when you said it, I just kept quiet.
All right.
So please, this month we have a lot. You can see the list. The president sent out the newsletter earlier, and I really need us to work together to ensure that we get to people, we actually educate people, we support people. Even don't wait for it to be a club thing. Let it be a personal thing, in your area, do as much as you can. All the lectures we had today is all about support system to somebody, to something, and to ensure that we're getting there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Toyosi. Thank you for that beautiful one. Do we have any good message from our sister clubs, Akure, Abuja, 9110 Maryland? Do we have any information? And also, my sister president, do you have any information for us? I know you're working with the district now, so do you have any information to give to us, please?
the Rotarian president, League of Serving and Past Presidents in the House, our guest speaker for today, fellow Rotarian guests and friends. As I speak now, I don't have any information, but thank you for all you are doing. Tonight's fellowship is actually more than a fellowship. I really wish we can have more time to have deep discussion about this. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, CP. Do we have any other things to discuss? Anything else? Okay. Rotarian Blair, are you there? Okay. I think probably is having some technical issues. So do we have Rotarian Adefemi here to please help us to take the comprehensive toast? Rotarian Adefemi, are you around? Okay, well, it's not available. May I ask Rotarian Mary Doe and Rotarian Tunde Ojo from 9110 Maryland. Do you have any information for us from 9110? From your club, please.
Here we go.
Ben, can you hear me?
Great, yeah, Rotarian Blair, we can hear you.
Ah, finally.
There we go.
So Ann finally found the unmute.
Great.
So I've been trying to get on for several minutes. A couple of points about the conversation this evening, and that is that as those folks were saying, and clearly and pointed out carefully and very well, you have opportunities to rival those of anyone anywhere in the world, but you have to have the technology first. So in order to have the technology, you have to have internet, you have to have the computers, you have to have the machinery that you need. And it's really easy to do that because a lot of that, in fact, is in your phone. So as long as you've got some way to access technology, you're in pretty good shape. The other thing I wanted to say about technology is that you guys ought to think about opening a part of the clubhouse. I don't know if you have a physical clubhouse, so that women and children and other Rotarians can come in and access equipment that's good enough to reach satellites and talk about different ways of doing entrepreneurial things. As I said before, and Jason mentioned, in 2050, Nigeria will have the third largest population in the world, with the country 10% the size of the United States. So land will be very important, and a lot of other things will be very important. But your country is scheduled for extraordinary growth, which means you have extraordinary opportunities. You almost couldn't go wrong doing something in your country as an entrepreneur in the next 20, 30 years. So I encourage you strongly to make sure that your members have the tools they need. I encourage you strongly to make sure that the women in the club and the women in your area have the technology they need. I don't know if there's some way you can hook up with a school system or someone else, but you might be able to do lots of things that will help you become good entrepreneurs, including teaching a class on one of these meetings about how to be an entrepreneur. You have just incredible opportunities ahead of you. I can't stress that too much. So I really think you're a wonderful club doing wonderful things. And I think looking at AI and all kinds of other things are very valuable to you. And so I just encourage you to do what you can. I wish I was there. So thank you. I'm so sorry I couldn't get in to talk to you. I apologize.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you, Rotarian Blair. Thank you so much. I mean, the passion of you coming around every now and then to fellowship with us, we really appreciate you. And we've discussed over time. about how we can key into Nigerian growth and then to be a part of the wave. And that has corroborates with what Jordan has said tonight and also Des. We are looking forward to make sure Rotarians are not left behind. And as a matter of fact, that we are part of the change that we want in Nigeria. So
You should be leader. Yeah.
yes, so we're working on that, and I believe we are fired up, you know, and we are just
Good.
make sure it comes to reality, so that you know, and we discussed so many other things. I mean, the last time myself and you, I mean, both of us we discussed so many other things the last time, you know, about things we need to do to make sure we start the foundation. So it's in the pipeline. We are discussing about that, and definitely we have things to achieve regards that. Definitely.
Do you have a club foundation?
We don't have a club foundation yet now. We don't have a club foundation, but those are the things we have in pipeline to make sure at the point in time, like I told you initially, you know, Nigerian economy sometimes can be very, very dicey. All right. So, and
Yeah.
we have a way of bringing in people to make sure we understand people's level of, you know, of how they can give to the community. We don't want to overstretch people, but at the same time to make sure the little piece that we have, like a drop of drops of water, later can eventually become an ocean, whereby we can have enough things accomplished, you know, accomplished at the end of the way. So we have laid down pipeline things on the ground, foundation we are working on to make sure we can actually have good structures on them as time goes on.
Okay.
All right. So
The sooner you have money in a foundation in your club, for people to join with even small amounts,
Mhm.
you have plans about what you're going to do with that. You
Yeah.
have a better chance of realizing it the earlier you start.
That's correct. That's correct. Like I said, you know, we have these things, you know, having our own foundation is one of the things we're in the pipeline, you know, and from our foundation, which we have, from there we talk about, you know, acquiring the properties which we discussed the last time, you know, we acquire them, then we can have to do some other things to put in place so that we have this as a civic center for the community, whereby we can have trainings, we can have a lot of things in place, and at the same time secure that place, secure of the future as well. I might be gone by then, but at least it will be on the club's name, you know, for the clubs to enjoy that. I'm just be coming behind, you know. So we have that in the pipeline, we have that programmed out, and we're working on that to make sure at least we have that foundation, and then we can actually build on that.
Good.
Great. So thank you so much, Rose. Again, I said Rosinan very soon going to make it 2 years old, so he's more knowledgeable, experienced than us, and he's a great grandfather. So thank you so much for coming out every time. You know, we appreciate you. Yes, I got it. An apology from Richard Adefemi that he's not available to join us tonight. Permits me to invite. Can we have a volunteer, please, to take the toast for tonight? All right, let me call on the secretary. The secretary, please, can you help us take a comprehensive toast for tonight, please?
Okay, thank you, the president. The president, League of Serving Presidents, representative of the district leadership, if any, our invited guests, friends and guests of Paris, Rotarian Ajagumam is the name, and I believe I'm audible enough.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Though not in any order, I would like to start making a proposed list for the long existence of all the clubs on this call, because I can see we have Rotary Club of New Lagos. After the count of District 9110, just help me see Longley Rotary A Club of Lagos. District 9110.
Apologies. New Lagos is not an E club; it's a physical club, and we also have Maryland here from 9110. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it says E club now.
Oh, okay. I thought okay.
just help me say long live to the long existence of Rotary Club of New Lagos after the count of their district number. District 9110.
Long
Long
live
live
Rotary
Club
of New Lagos.
New Lagos, the trendsetters.
Thank you for that, my president. Also, we have Rotary Club of Greater Nigeria. After the count of before then, we still have Rotary Club of Maryland. After the count of the district number, you just say long live to Rotary Club of Maryland. District 9110.
Long live
Rotary Club of
Maryland.
Now we also have our guest speaker, past President Benz. After the pronouncement of his name, and also other guests, you just say long live to our guest speaker.
Long live to our guest speaker.
To our guest speaker.
Live to our guest speaker.
Yeah. And to all the Rotary E-clubs present, I have Rotary Club of Greater Nigeria, Rotary Club of One Nigeria. After the pronouncement of E-club is the future, you just say long live to all the E-clubs present. Rotary E-club, the future.
Long live Rotary E-club present.
Rotary clubs president.
I also have our guest speaker, Mr. Jordan Cisco. Thank you for such a wonderful topic on AI. After the pronouncement of Cisco, you just say long live our guest, Cisco.
Long live our guest.
Cisco.
Without wasting wasting much of our time, to other visiting Rotarians whom I cannot pick their club's names or their names here, after the pronouncement of we are the future, you just say long live our visiting Rotarians. We are the future.
Long live.
Long live all of you Rotarians.
I would like to use this opportunity to make a toast to the long existence of our dear country for yet another successful 63rd independence anniversary. Nigeria, here we are, where we all hope for a better future. After the pronouncement of the national flag colors, you just chorus the long existence of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Green, white, green.
Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Long live
Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And to the most beautiful club in the world, the best ever humanitarian club in the world, the club with a permanent observer seat in the UN, the club whose over 40 members helped in writing the charter after the World War II, the club who is just doing everything possible to improve humanity, the club who has spent over billions of dollars in eradicating polio from the surface of the earth, the club who has been there for humanity's sake. Join me when I say long live Rotary International, you say Rotary world over. Long live Rotary
Long
International.
live Rotary International.
Rotary world.
Long live.
Thank you, my president, for the opportunity to make the toast to RI. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you so much, my able secretary. We have stewardship report for tonight.
Yes.
Yes, please.
The President, fellow volunteers in civil service to humanity on this call. For today's fellowship, we have 44 in attendance. From this 44, we have 2 Rotaractors. We have 2 guests, and we have a record number of 17 visiting Rotarians, while the club members made up the rest of the numbers of attendance. So far, nil income no income so far.
Oh, all right, thank you so much. I also always like charity, to help charity out. So tonight, I will be donating a sum of 10,000 naira towards charity. And if it's touching your mind to help charity, you can please put it in the chat box to help charity. So from me, 10,000 naira for charity for tonight. Thank you. So the meeting is going to an end. Okay, thank you, thank you, Rotarian Adebambo, as well, supporting us for charity. We have 20,000 tonight, 10,000 from Rotarian Adebambo for charity. So we have 20,000 naira for tonight. Thank you so much. We have our friend Jordan. Thank you so much for charity. He's having 10,000 naira as well for charity. So we have 30,000 for charity for tonight. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So if you want to help as well, please put it in the chat box so that we can be able to help charity. Most of this money, what is done for, we add it to our projects to make sure we're able to help people in our community. That's why we give money towards charity. So if you have anything, regardless of how small it is, you can put it in charity. We really appreciate that. Well, it's late in Nigeria. By now it is 10:09 Nigerian time. If we don't have anything, can one of our Rotarians kindly move a motion for adjournment of this section till next fellowship and same venue, Zoom. We're going to meet on Zoom. That's the same venue for next week. Any Rotarian, please, can move a motion adoption, please. Rotarians in the house. Rotarian Evelyn Udeze, I've not heard you today.
The Rotarian president.
Yes, sir.
I, Rotarian Shehu Agbola, hereby move the motion for the adjournment of today's fellowship till next week, Sunday, at a venue to be announced by the club secretary. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. A seconder, please. Hello, Rotarian. Yeah,
good evening, everyone. Seconded by Rotarian David Evelyn.
Thank you. Thank you, Rotarian Evelyn, for seconding that. So officially, the gathering is now closed. We'll be meeting next weekend, same venue, same time. We're meeting 8:30. The meeting starts 8:30, so we come around 8 o'clock, meet ourselves, just connect, and by 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time, which is 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, we start our fellowship. I'll say once again, thank you so much, everybody, for making it up to this time. Thank you. We really appreciate you. Please let us go back to our various environment. Let us encourage ourselves to key into AI. Let us key into developing the environment. Let us see how we can collaborate. I'm looking forward to most of the clubs that are here today to see how we can go to schools, colleges, to teach people, put this some kind of curriculum together so we teach people in schools how to use one of these free tools available for us to learn. I'm looking forward to that collaboration so that we can bring it down to the community. So once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I love you. And once again, looking forward to see you next week. At the same time, I'm wishing every one of us a productive week ahead. Thank you.
Amen.
Remain blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my president.
Thank you.
Thank you.